Hi darlings, I am back in the garden and I am introing this video because what you're about to watch is technically from last year, but it still has a ton of really good information in it. I detail all of my casting experience with Playboy and I tell you what I went through, how I got hired, how I got booked, how it went. I give you all that information. The reason why I made this video in the first place was because Playboy was doing casting calls all last summer and last fall. They went out to different cities and they had casting calls for different girls, and you can find some videos of girls talking about that, but not a lot. So I wanted to make my own video explaining how I got hired by Playboy. In this, you're gonna see BTS, you're gonna see photos and videos and stories from me, but I wanted to come on here and introduce it because I do look a little different and it is a little bit older, and some of the things that I reference are from the casting that would be in 2024 and that has already passed. So right now Playboy doesn't have any active castings going on. They are still sort of running the magazine, and they do still have the Playboy Club, which is what they used to call Centerfold, and I have tons of videos on Centerfold if you want to know about that, but technically Centerfold is their version of OnlyFans, and I do need to make an update video about that. I am still on that platform. You can find me in the Bunny Club / Centerfold. All the links are in the bio of this video and also on my page about me, and you can find information about me and Playboy there. And if you're new here, I'm Sid. I do not always sound like this, but I have some kind of summer cold or something. But YouTube is my play space where I refuse to niche down, so enjoy this video about Playboy. Hi darling. First of all, I talk with my hands, okay? Don't mind this. I had a scuffle. I didn't get into a fight, but I had a scuffle. All right, I am back sooner than I planned by popular demand to talk about Playboy. You guys want to know about casting. So my casting day, I will tell you about it, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about like the club. I will start this with the casting. I do think my casting will be different than the casting that you will go to if you are looking to become a bunny, a centerfold, or a playmate of the year with Playboy's bunny search, model search happening in 2024. So get excited, and I'm going to tell you about it. I used to work for the company. I don't work for them anymore. I don't think I'm going to this casting, so I'm fully fine just like sharing what I know with you guys. Here are some of the dates of the casting if you're interested in going. I do hope you go. I do hope you tell me about it. As you can see, one of those dates, they have already had their like opening casting day. So let's get into my casting day. It all started when I saw a flyer for the New York City club. They were looking for bunnies. I would find out later that they had a casting like a few months prior, and then this was a second casting that they did, and so I was a part of the second casting, and then myself and girls from the first and second casting all became the first group of bunnies that were brought into the Playboy Club New York City. So I saw that casting and I actually brought it to my friends and I was like, hey, like we should all go, and then I ended up being the only one who wanted to go, and that's fine. I ended up making it, but it was just like one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to this. That casting really didn't give you that much information, so I just treated it like a model call or like some dance auditions. I just came prepared like to do whatever I had to do. So I have photos of myself when I got dressed to like go. I was living in Queens at the time, and so I had to take the train to way out 42nd Street, but it was like 42nd and like 10th. The casting call was at Cachet Hotel, and I'm not even sure if they still call that hotel that name, but the club was inside of this hotel, and the entire time that we did casting, training, and working for the first few months, like we just took over this hotel. That would eventually get scaled back a bit, but when the audition and the interview happened, like it was at this hotel. So I got dressed up in mind knowing that this was like to be a bunny. If this was like a regular interview, I would not have worn this, okay? Even as like a model interview, like this is still like a little bit risky to wear, but I wanted to look the part. You know, they say like dress for the role that you want to have, so that's what I did. So I had these like leather shorts on and like a bustier and heels, and it does sort of give you like the look of like the Playboy uniform. My hair was in rollers, and I did my makeup. I did really good everyday makeup, so not like show makeup, because people are gonna be like right here, you know, you don't want to do like photography makeup or show makeup where it's like projecting, you know, you do want to still look a little more demure. Big thing with Playboy is they always want the girls that don't look like they're trying so hard. Now, this outfit may have been trying hard, but my personality and my like makeup and the way I carry myself is definitely the opposite of like trying so hard. Okay, let me give you an example. If you showed up with like a red lip, smoky eye, crazy lashes, plus the outfit that I was wearing, maybe that would have been too much. You know what I'm saying? First of all, they don't even like a red lip, so you shouldn't do that at all. It's a carryover from when Hef was there. Hef like hated red lipstick apparently. The whole like girl next door thing, they love that, right? So if you have like girl next door personality, then maybe you spice up your outfit a little bit so you can give like a little bit of both worlds, right? I know, this is my thought process in 2018, I don't know. So because I was in New York and I was living in Queens and I needed to get into Times Square, I did not wear this on the train. So I had like this huge bag that had like my headshots and resumes, my work resume, which is different from like my performance resume. I had flip-flops and then I had heels to change, and I even had, I think I put a different top on just so I could like get there, right? And then of course it's summer. This was in June, I think, and so you're trying not to get like oily and trying not to sweat your makeup off and like all of this, right? So these are the things that you kind of want to think about. You're probably going to drive to your thing, which is great. If you drive, then just like do all that stuff in the car, and then when you leave your car, like be as prepared as possible and then go in. So those are like my tips and opinions about like your outfit and your makeup. Don't overdo it, but give them a little sexy, but keep in mind like it is very important that you don't put like everything in their face. They do want to have like a girl next door thing. Also bring your swimsuit. That's something that I did not do, but I have already heard that that is something that will be incorporated in these castings. It's something that they used to do back in the day, so I don't know if because this was like a restaurant or whatever, like they just didn't do the bikini thing. When I got to Cachet, I really did not know what to expect because it was a hotel. Like honestly, because I saw the ad on Instagram and then I just kind of like followed the steps, this could have been a scam, and I do want to like put that out there for people to like keep in mind. Like, yes, these castings are public, but make sure that you're talking to the people directly when it says like apply for this casting, and like make sure you get good information, because there are scams out there and there are like terrible things that happen to models sometimes. When I got in, I was like, oh, like this is literally just a hotel. So when you walk in, there's like coffee tables and kind of like conference rooms on one side, and then there was a restaurant on the left side, and then it's just like the lobby front desk, and then the hotel rooms were behind there. Like honestly, it doesn't look like a club at all, and I must have seen someone or talked to someone who pointed me in the right direction, which was to go to the restaurant. In the restaurant I signed in. I also signed some papers about filming, about like them filming or using my appearance, you know, for being there. And then I also filled out like a questionnaire like about myself. There was not that much time to do that. There also was not like a huge group of girls. They had already done a casting a few months prior, so they must have just needed like a few more girls, and they needed me. So I was expecting like tons of girls, and I was expecting to be there all day. I think I had like food in my bag, but I did spend a good amount of time there at the hotel that day. We'll get into it. From there, a nice girl took my application and directed me to the conference rooms, but I needed to change my shirt. So I went to the restroom and like whipped off my shirt because my bustier was like underneath, and I was like, okay, I'm ready, you know? And they ushered me over to the conference room, and in the conference room, I sat down with one person and they went over the questionnaire. They looked at my headshot and they looked at my resume. This was very not formal. I just sat down with one person and we talked, and it was like, I can't even tell you who that was. Like, I never saw that person again. I don't know what their position was, but this is one of those things where I was like, you know, that actually could have been sketchy. But it all worked out. So after speaking to that guy for like 5 minutes, he was like, look, I think you do really great. I see good things here on your resume. Like, he really didn't ask me that many questions. Like, I just don't remember that. Like, it was so quick.
He said, I'm gonna send you upstairs to like the rainforest room, and you're gonna talk to a few more people up there. And I was like, okay, sure. The rainforest room was kind of this like patio and outdoor space that was on another floor of the hotel. It also had this glass box that I think I have some photos of. And so inside of the glass box, they had a long table, like a long dinner table, and there were several people at this table. Now, if I can remember correctly, there were managers, there were HR people, there were promotional people, there was the person that would ultimately be my direct boss, and there were business partners, which I will tell you a little bit more about that after. So in this, like, it's a glass box, right? So I can see the table and I see the people sitting around the table, and I see one girl being interviewed by these people, and I'm sitting outside of the box. And I can just see it happen. I think I had like a second to like gather myself before I was like, oh, I'm like really going in for just like a flat out interview at this point. And that is when I started questioning the outfit that I was wearing. It's Playboy, like it's not a big deal, but I just didn't expect. I thought I was gonna have to like walk or try on the outfit, which I did, or take some photos, which they did, but I just didn't expect to be like sitting down at a table with like a panel of people, and they were throwing questions at me. So let's get into that part. When it was my turn to go into the glass box, I sat down and I shook hands with everyone. You always want to try to shake hands with everyone and try to make eye contact with everyone. If one person asks you a question, you want to answer the question to all of them. And if this person asks you a question, you answer, but you answer to all of them. Like, make eye contact with everybody. Trust me, it's like a comfort thing. For them, not you. When I got in there after we were all introduced, they were really like scrutinizing my resume, and the resume that I had given was my performance resume. Like I said, I treated this like a model call. Like I didn't know what exactly to expect. So when they were looking and they're like, oh, we see like the Lakers, or we see Disney, or we see, you know, these other things that I've done, they wanted to know, like, have you worked in a restaurant? Have you been bottle service or bartender before? Which were all things that like we needed to do, because ultimately it was a restaurant. Like it was a club, but it was a restaurant. And then some of the questions that they asked me, like they wanted to know obviously why I wanted to be a bunny. They wanted to know like what were my first impressions of Playboy, like what was the first thing that I could remember that was like Playboy branded that I ever saw or interacted with. I remember talking to them a lot about The Girls Next Door because I did really like that show at the time. So I explained that although I was young, like, and probably too young to be watching that show, it really did make an impact on me, and that was part of the reason why I was there that day. That's the honest truth. And then they wanted to know like what were my strengths, what were my weaknesses, if I was a team player. They wanted to know about my schedule. Like these are just like practical like work things that maybe I hadn't fully been prepared to answer, but like I was able to like spin it. You know, who knows what actually got me the job? Maybe it was the outfit, maybe it was the shoes, we don't know. After that, they talked amongst themselves for a second, and then they said, you know, we really like you. We want to move you on to the next stage. We're going to have somebody come in and take you to the next place. And I was like, okay, this is getting like kind of intense. And the third stage was me trying on an actual bunny outfit. And I was like, I thought maybe I would do that, but I wasn't like fully expecting it. So when I got to put it on, I was so excited. Like I think if I didn't get the job, just like having tried it on was so exciting. I miss it. I miss wearing like the whole like the bunny tail and the ears and everything. Like I loved it. I have a picture from the one that I tried on, and this one fit me so good. I love the dresser who dressed me. Like she doesn't work for them anymore, but she was really, really smart in how she like made all of us look, because once you tried on that outfit, they took pictures of you and they would send those to corporate, and that is what really decided if you got the job or not. I just remember them saying like, you know, don't post this, you can post when you get your outfit, but like I was so excited, like I took it anyway, and so that was me the day of. And then once I was in the outfit, I actually had to walk back to where the panel was and like twirl for them to see me, and then they were like, okay, we'll like let you know in a few weeks or days. It was so interesting, but it was so simple, and that's why I say like I don't think this casting will be similar. These new castings coming up, I don't think they're gonna be like mine. In full honesty, I'm not sure what they're really looking for. Like, I don't know why they're really having these castings anyway. Like, I know that they're starting the magazine again as like a annual thing, but I'm not really sure like on the bunny side of it, because unless they plan to open bunny locations, I don't really know why they're looking for bunnies. My only thought is that this is still part of the like promotion for like Centerfold / the Bunny Club, which is an online space. I do wonder if it has something to do with that. So I don't know how similar my story will be to yours, but like I said, if you go, I really want to know.